Today I want to show you how to make an absolutely simple and beautifully delicious plum tart. What the hell, they're in season, and what else you're going to do with so many plums. It's very simple to make, only a few common ingredients like plums, and it only tastes like it took forever. The other thing too is, with this recipe, I'm adding a luscious cheese layer between the dough and my plums, and it's going to be absolutely out of this world. So to start us off, and let's get right to it, preheat your oven 375 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Get that off and going. To get us started, first things first, I'm going to use the help of my mixer. You can do this by hand. I don't recommend it. It just makes things a lot easier. Just use one of those hand mixers. You don't need like a Buck Rogers mixer to do this. So for this, I'm just going to take two 250 gram packs of cream cheese, and I'm just going to add them to my mixer. Now, these have been out overnight, and they've really become soft and at room temperature. And that's what you want. You don't want something that's out of the fridge. It is not going to taste the same. So, with that off, I'm going to mix that up for maybe a minute or two while I do that. The next part for our cheese base or our cheese filling is a little bit of icing sugar. And for this, for me, a little bit is half a cup. So I'm just going to measure out half a cup. You can eyeball this if you want, not a big deal, but for me, half a cup will do it. I don't want it overly sweet. So let me just bring this down. And I speak from experience when I say, when you add something like your icing sugar or any other kind of powder to this mixer, don't do it. Just start off really, really slow. Let it incorporate, let it combine, and then you crank up the RPMs. Now that it's been a couple of minutes, the next order of business for our cream filling is about a teaspoon of good vanilla extract. Not that I'm getting all barefoot Contessa on you, but get the best vanilla extract or vanilla you can. Will it make a difference? Will it change your life? No, but it will improve your dish. So get that off and going and let that kind of whip up and do its thing. Now you can leave that for a couple of minutes and move on. The next thing I'm going to do, let me get this out of the way, is the star of our recipe, our plums. Thankfully, I have a dad who's got this huge plum tree in his backyard, and he brings me plums every year. And when my dad says I'm going to bring you a few plums, it's by the bushel load. So that's insane. The next part is the plums and the star of our show. And here are these little gems. Now, what I would really recommend is using a sharp knife, and all you're going to do is take it along the long side of your plum, cut them, twist, and that's perfect. It'll just come out just like that. And for the pit, very carefully, take a spoon and just kind of cut it out. That's all. So you're going to take your plum halves here and just keep doing that until you're done. For this, typically I'm using a 12-inch round baking pan for my tart. So I would do about maybe 10, 12 just to get you going. All right, so now my plums are done. I've halved about a dozen or so. The next thing, let me get this out of the way. The next thing to do, because they're not 100% done, so they're not really super, super sweet. I'm gonna add just a couple of tablespoons of just sugar, just like that, just to kind of candy them up just a little bit. And all I'm gonna do is just mix them up real quick, just like this, nothing complicated. Just let them kind of just tumble in your little bowl here. Get that off and going. That's done. Next thing, 12-inch round ceramic pie tart, whatever the hell this thing is called. It's a beautiful dish. I love it. In this recipe, I'm using puff pastry. Now, I may need 2 for this one, depending on how big your actual crust is going to be, or your puff pastry sheets are. So I'm just going to take one out now, very carefully, and you can actually stretch it and expand it a little bit to kind of go over your sides like this, and very, very carefully just do this and move it actually along so it will actually go through your whole pie, or through your whole pan. I'm going to have to use a little bit of my other sheet of puff pastry. Not a big deal at all. I'm just going to put this down here. And that's the beauty about this. You can supplement. Take just a sharp knife, cut a piece away, move it, and just place it just like that. Underneath, no one will ever tell anyway. And that's all you need to do. Isn't that perfect? Isn't that beautiful? Just like that. This is the most delicious cream cheese filling like ever. And all you're gonna do is take the bowl, or your bowl, and just put it in here. This is such, it's really easy to make, but when you see this come out of the oven, you're gonna think, holy crap, what bakery did this come out of? Let me just leave that there. I'll just leave that here. And all you're gonna do is evenly spread this around, and you don't have to be a baker or anything like that. I certainly am not. And just move this around, spread it around till it just goes even along the edges. And this is the pillow of deliciousness. So now it's time for our plums. And all you're gonna do is cover the top of your tart with the plums cut side down. All right, so I just cut these up. I'm just gonna toss them in my sugar. I was a few short, but that's okay, not a big deal at all. And just continue filling them up until your tart, or the top of your tart, is completely full. I think what this needs now is a little something extra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few tabs of butter and just put it around. Just randomly, just drop it like that. So as it bakes, it's just going to make this beautiful kind of deliciousness. Oh, live a little. It's only butter. I'm not putting like a pound on here. It's just like a little bit here and there, real quick, just to kind of add to the decadence of this. Now, before I pop this into my oven, I'm just going to cut this away, the top here, so that way it looks kind of presentable when you take it out. And real easy. This is nothing complicated. Just make sure it stretches out evenly. And remember, what's our rule? If it doesn't look perfect, it's rustic. That's what everybody does or says. Let's say the same thing. So keep going all around, cutting it without cutting or losing a finger tip, just like that. And this is gonna be so good. This is like country cooking, man. This is like perfect. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. This, my friends, is ready to go. So I'm just gonna turn this over, just like that. So as it bakes, it's gonna create a little lip that's gonna kind of seal everything in there. See where I'm going with this? Perfect. Now, 375, 25 to 35 minutes, and get ready for like some serious deliciousness. Snakies. This is literally just out of the oven. It took about 35 minutes. It is done to absolute perfection. Gorgeous with a capital wow. All right, now here's the thing. Normal people would let this typically cool for about 15-20 minutes until it actually kind of reconstituted, because you can see it's actually still bubbling here. Like, what the hell? I'm still gonna try this no matter what right now. And even though it's gonna be like hot as hell, it doesn't matter. This is gonna be like so absolutely worth it. I'll give you a little tip now in terms of cutting these kinds of pies and cakes and whatnot, and tarts and yada yada yada. It's always cut from the opposite side. That way, when you cut the piece, oh, never mind, I'll just show you. So, if this is the side that's closest to me, I'm gonna cut from this side. So I'm just gonna take a piece and just slowly cut that puff pastry. Ding, ding, ding. You got a little bit of that tang, the sweetness from the cheese, the cream cheese filling. You have the beautiful, robust flavor of the plums. And the beauty about this, it's not overly sweet. Mind you, it's not ideal for bikini season, but the point is that it is just so fabulously delicious and so easy and simple to make. So my friends, that's it for this edition or this episode on how to make my plum tart with a cheese filling. I hope you guys try this. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check me out online at www.kensgreektable.com. You'll find all my recipes there. Well, I'm adding them as we go on. But the point is, check it out. I hope to see you again on the next episode. Until next time, bye for now.